And me, I'm 56 years old.
Damn! I'm sorry.
As a young guy trying to achieve the success that you have already achieved.
Wait, oh.
Well,
Stop with everybody that's a little bit older.
The year has so far been rough for Kevin Hart as celebrities and industry players keep leaking dirty secrets about the 44-year-old comedian. First, it was Katt Williams who told the whole world that Hart was an industry plant and a member of the secretive organization, the Illuminative. Then Monique opened a can of worms, detailing the comedian's shady dealings in the industry. The revelations shook the industry, and just about when we thought the flames were dying out, actor and movie producer Mark Wahlberg apparently added more gas, reviving the dying embers. The word on the street suggests that the Father Stu actor has joined the growing list of celebs exposing Kevin Hart by revealing some nasty secrets that were hitherto not privy to the public. These secrets have sent the internet into overdrive, with many wondering whether the comedian's career would survive these slew of allegations. What did Mark Wahlberg say? And how would it affect Kevin Hart's career? I have all the 411, so grab some popcorn. It's going to be a juicy tale. According to the grapevine, Mark Wahlberg claims that Kevin loved to mock and disparage the aged. The gossip has it that Kevin Hart would laugh at people who are 50 and above and won't feel any remorse. Many people, especially those in the Black community and other people of color, have reverence for the elderly. They are regarded as experienced patriarchs and matriarchs whose wisdom is unmatched. It is an unspoken taboo to make fun of the elderly because old age is a destination that everyone would reach if they lived long enough. Plus, old age is viewed as a blessing because not many people attain it before they fall off the surface of the earth. Thus, to mock the elderly was not only disrespectful, but was regarded as taboo. This is why Kevin's actions are seen and interpreted in a bad light. To add insult to injury, most of the elderly people who he's ever disrespected or trolled happen to be guests on his show, Heart to Heart. These guests were visibly disturbed when the comedian took a swipe at their ages, but he wouldn't stop. Mark himself suffered Kevin Hart's disrespect when the comedian made fun of his age. During his time on the show, the celebrated action star spoke about his career, his achievements, his goals, and where he saw himself in a couple of years. However, classic Kevin Hart made fun of his age, which apparently didn't go down well with the actor. Mark tried to keep the interview light and comical, but still made his feelings known. Many fans who could read between the lines understood that the actor was calling out Kevin Hart on his own show. During the interview, Kevin Hart said, "As a young guy trying to achieve the success that you've already achieved," to which a visibly irritated Wahlberg replied, "You ain't that effing young? Stop effing with everybody that's a little bit older." Realizing his mistake, Hart tried to backtrack, but Wahlberg reminded him of what he did to Don Cheadle when he appeared on his show. He told Hart, "Don Cheadle is a legend, and you dirty him like that?" Apparently, Wahlberg knew that Hart was fond of mocking anyone who came on his show and was a bit older than him. Though the actor was upset, he played it cool and allowed the interview to flow without showing his emotions. Don Cheadle had previously appeared on the same show to talk about Hollywood and his career and personal life when he mentioned his age. As soon as he did, Kevin Hart went, "Damn," to which Cheadle got shocked and looked at Kevin with a straight face. He paused for a few seconds to let Kevin's reaction sink in, which forced the comedian to apologize for his mistake. Chedley tried to compose himself, but the words couldn't just flow out of his mouth. Kevin then explained, "It was a thought. I blurted it out. I didn't mean it that way." Don then claimed he was fine, but requested a poll to determine whether the comedian meant his words or he was joking. "We'll take a poll on how you meant it with the people here after the show goes live," to which Kevin Hart responded, "I can sit up here and say, buddy, that was from a place of love." However, Cheadle wouldn't buy Hart's explanation. If we could play it back right now, there was no wow. Kevin tried to play smart by claiming that he said the word damn without stressing it, but Cheadle retorted, "You stressed the word damn." The two men laughed it off at the time, but many fans believed Don was just being a gentleman and didn't want to start a feud with the comedian. Many even applauded him for handling the situation well by showing his maturity. One fan wrote, "Don Cheadle is so attractive to me. He's just IT. The way he took control and continued like a true professional and class act he is. Love him always." Another also opined, "Don's facial expression was the truth. He looks really good, and he's still young." However, others like Wahlberg thought that Kevin was being disingenuous, which is why he called him out on his show. One fan wrote, "Thank you, Mr. Wahlberg, for speaking up for Mr. Cheadle's legacy. The man did Rosewood for crying out loud." Another disgruntled fan commented, "And the 56-year-old Don is a great actor, Kevin. You may have more money, but you will never come close to him with my respect. Mark, much respect for calling Kevin out. I also love the way Mark Wahlberg stood up for Don and helped Kevin put his foot inside of his own mouth," wrote one commenter. "Thank you, Mark Wahlberg, for bringing Kevin up short. If he keeps lying down and getting up, he'll be 56 and older one day," another fan said. "Bro past his 40s talking about young guy to 50-year-olds. Mark was right to check him," another elated commenter wrote. Interestingly, this wasn't the first time Mark Wahlberg took Kevin Hart on for disparaging older people. The last time the action star lambasted Kevin Hart was when the comedian used Mark's close friend, 61 years old Michael Jordan, as material for one of his jokes. The occasion was a charity event hosted by the basketball legend, and Kevin was invited to entertain the audience. Mike then invited the comedian on stage to do his thing, but Kevin was struggling to get the audience going. Desperate to crack up the crowd, the comedian threw a Hail Mary by picking on Michael Jordan. He even knew what he was about to say could trigger the former Chicago Bulls star, but still went ahead regardless. "Mike still might be mad at me. True story," he began. "Mike had a charity event in Las Vegas. They called me. They wanted me to host the event. I get there to host the event. It's something where they're like auctioning things. It's a real tight crowd. Very bougie. Everybody's neck was really straight, so I get up there. Hey man, loosen up, relax. You're here to have a good time." So as I'm saying stuff, I lock eyes with Mike in the front row, and I start teasing him. Then Kevin Hart went ahead to drop the bombshell, mocking the 61-year-old Jordan for his dress sense and, as usual, his age. "What age do you get to where it's okay to wear your pants that high and nobody addresses it?" Hart said he joked about Jordan to the crowd. "You all can't tell me that Mike's past the legal limit for waist?" It was fun jokes. Although the comedian cum actor claimed that it was all fun and jokes, he didn't stop mocking the Basketball Hall of Famer. This time, he went for his looks. "He had the little square mustache at the time," Hart stated. "What is that? Looks like a thumbprint, like you just smelled something. Nobody's laughing. It got to the point where nobody's laughing. He's looking straight. He's actually giving me a look like, you gonna keep on going? Like you ain't gonna stop?" However, the comedian kept going, even though the crowd wasn't feeling his jokes and was completely out of sync with him. "I don't care. I'm having a good time. I was laughing," Hart said. "I may or may not have been drunk at the time. I hit him with one more, and nobody says nothing." The comedian then narrated Michael Jordan's reaction to his joke, insinuating that the sports legend might not have been happy with what went on. "It gets over, and I see him, and I'm like, 'What up, Mike? Hey." He shook my hand and he squeezed it real hard, and he was like, "You have a good day. I ain't seen him since," the comedian concluded. Like all great friends who have heard their colleagues being disparaged and turned into the butt of jokes, Mark Wahlberg decided to stand up for his friend Michael Jordan. The action star went after Kevin Hart, albeit in a comical way, to ensure that they still maintain the professional relationship they developed during the filming of Me Time. However, we are not sure if Kevin Hart appreciated Mark Wahlberg's words or interpreted them as a slight on his character. It happened when the two actors went sneaking shopping with the YouTube channel Complex. When they came upon a collection of shoes designed by Michael Jordan, Wahlberg had some choicest words for Kevin Hart. He pointed to the whole shoe collection and reminded Kevin that he hadn't achieved half of what the basketball star had achieved. "If you think about it, if you were to come here today and look at, all that he's created, all that he inspired, you ain't S," said the lone survivor actor. The camera panned to Kevin's face to capture his reactions, and the dude managed to smile, but it was evident that all wasn't well with the comedian. However, Wahlberg never cared what his co-star was feeling, and instead tore into him even more. "You haven't done anything. You got no random store you can walk in and it's just all about you. You haven't done S. You haven't done nothing yet. I feel that way. I feel like I haven't done S." Kevin Hart quickly realized that Mark Wahlberg was up to something, but he wasn't sure, so he asked the audience and the crew, "Does anybody feel like this just took a left turn?" However, Mark Wahlberg kept going, reminding Kevin Hart of his achievements and telling him that even he wouldn't dare compare himself with the legend Michael Jordan. "I've got 94 restaurants," Wahlberg said. "I feel like I haven't done S. Look at this. Let's get back to the drawing board." Mark's mentioning of his 94 restaurants was to tell Kevin Hart that he's got more businesses than the comedian, but wouldn't talk down on Michael Jordan. His message was loud and clear. Before you talk bad or mock somebody, be sure to have the mettle and the caliber to do so. The conversation between the two as they toured the store was getting awkward, and Kevin Hart appeared to be feeling the heat coming from Wahlberg. He wasn't expecting Wahlberg to come out of the blocks on this one, so he responded, I was on a really good path talking about the creases," Hart said when he was talking about a 1985 Air Jordan. "You just took the car and you just really attacked me." Wahlberg then reminded Hart that he has done same to people like Don Cheadle and Michael Jordan when they'd done practically nothing to him. He told him how he roasted these respected celebrities on his shows when they were just there for an interview. He said, "You insult everybody, but then you make people feel bad." Mark's surprise attack delighted some fans as they were happy that somebody was bold enough to put Kevin Hart in his place, albeit in a diplomatic manner. Fans decried his habit of roasting people with their age, appearance, and looks. They felt that he could use other things or aspects of his subjects as material for his jokes, but should stay clear from other parts that are deemed sensitive. A few years ago, Will Ferrell became a victim of Kevin's unsolicited ribbing. As usual, the comic actor was a guest on Kevin's Heart to Heart show to talk about his life when classic Kevin Hart seized the opportunity to launch one of his trademark attacks on the industry veteran. Hart told Ferrell how he would love to work with him, but he didn't know how many years the veteran actor had left in him. He said, "I hope we do work together, Will, because I don't know how much time you've got left," which took the wind out of Ferrell's sail. Ferrell was shocked that Kevin would throw such a joke at him in the middle of an interview and opened his mouth in utter surprise. He even attempted to say something, but it appears his words failed him. However, Kevin wouldn't budge. He doubled down on his earlier statement. I would love to effing do something with you before it's too late, man." Once again, Ferrell looked taken aback at Hart's statement, not sure how to respond. When he finally put himself together, the only words he could muster were, "Yeah, I'm here," to which Kevin Hart responded, "For now." At this point, Ferrell's felt downcast, and it was visible on his face. Fans could tell that he was surprised at this turn of events and would have loved to end the show right there and then. But he kept his calm and proceeded. Kevin continued, "That's what I'm saying, we gotta get it done." Will responded, "All right, let's hurry up and do it then." However, the short exchange didn't sync well with Will, so he quizzed Hart, "Is there anything about me you know that I don't know? Like medical history?" This is because Hart appeared to imply that Ferrell could be departing this earth pretty soon, a notion that the spirited actor found puzzling. Fans flooded the comment section of that video to share their thoughts on what they just witnessed. One commenter sought to remind Kevin Hart of Mark Wahlberg's words when he wrote, "A wise man once told Kevin, 'You ain't that effing young,'" to which another fan responded, "This one had me in tears. Kevin thinks he's 15 years old and everyone else has one foot in the grave. What is it with Hart? He has a problem with growing old. You are on your way, baby," another fan opined. Another took delight in Will's response to Kevin Hart's attacks. They wrote, "What an amazing response to a proverbial jab taken at him. He didn't block, he didn't counter, he just weaved. He did it so beautifully that it even threw off the attacker. It made Kevin break." Some fans saw the funny side of it all and thought that the two were just having fun and had nothing personal against each other. Others also wished the two actors would work together one more time because they found their chemistry refreshingly funny. Another person who fell prey to Kevin Hart's interview antics is music producer and rapper Dr. Dre. Just as in the case of the other three, Dr. Dre made an appearance on the Heart to Heart show to discuss his legacy in the industry, but got trapped by the comedian. Hart set the tone by intentionally saying that Dre was 60 years old, an obvious error that the music producer corrected, stating that his real age was 58 years. The camera zoomed in on Dre's face, and the music producer was clearly uncomfortable. However, in the usual Hart style, he doubled down on his earlier claims by telling Dre he would soon be 60. Dre had no choice but to accept that he would soon be 60 when he said, "I'm knocking on 60's door." Fans expressed their concern for Dre, as he clearly was embarrassed by Kevin's clowning of his age. He might not have expected it, and the whole segment probably left a bitter taste in his mouth. The fans thought that Kevin should know when and whom to have that kind of conversation with. Others also called out the comedian, claiming if that was the only way he wanted to sell his show, then he needed to rethink and reassess his marketing strategy. One fan wrote, "He is basically 58. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Let him get to 60 before you call it." Another also commented, "Just a matter of time that we see Kev get a backhand slap. It's coming." Some commenters also decided to give Kevin a taste of his own medicine by trolling him with his height. This fan wrote, "Kevin be trolling people on their age, while he walking around here 4 feet." Others also took issues with the show's researchers for constantly getting the age of their guests wrong. Who is doing Kevin's research? Crazy research is easier than ever, and they still can't do it right, and Kevin still ain't wrong no matter what. However, some commenters praised Dr. Dre for all his achievements in the music industry, especially hip-hop. They claimed that Kevin Hart couldn't achieve half of what— It's crazy to think Dre is only in his 50s. I mean, by the amount of life that he has lived. NWA seems like an eternity ago, and that wasn't even the beginning. And then to think of everything he has done since NWA, most people would need 5+ lifetimes to come close to achieving what he has, and he's not not even 60 yet. However, one celebrity whose name kept coming up in the comments section was Sofia Vergara. So I did a quick search, and I was amazed at how the Colombian-American actress stuck it to Kevin Hart for the same trick he's been playing on others. It looked like Vergara had watched a few of Hart's interviews and knew that age moment was going to come up. So she prepared her answer beforehand, and her fans loved every moment of it. When Kevin teased Vergara about her age, she confidently clapped by claiming that he was more handsome during his younger days. "And you were more handsome when you were younger," the 51-year-old actress retorted. For once on his show, Kevin was lost for words as he couldn't muster a cogent sentence. He kept responding, "Yeah," as Vergara reminded him of his past looks. When she realized the host was flabbergasted, Vergara tried to lighten the mood by telling Hart, "You're doing great," much to his relief. But just when everyone, including Hart, was beginning to think that Vergara would let go, she launched another tirade. Kevin Hart erroneously thought that the actress was going to praise her, but no, she left him in the ditch. Kevin said, "I thought you were complimenting me," to which the actress responded, "I'm not lying. It's a fact. You were younger. Like 20 years ago? Yes." Kevin attempted a comeback when he said, "It depends on how you look at me." But it was a little too late, as fans were having a party in the comments section. One fan wrote, "She's savage. She's the type of person you speak to with a smile and don't realize you were insulted until you arrive home." Another elated fan wrote, "He loves to mess with people when it comes to their age. I'm so glad she got him." Another commenter who was having fun at Kevin Hart's expense also wrote, "She knows how to get herself out of a mess cleanly and still leave you questioning your life, and she's out of reach to get her to clarify, and her accent complements everything." Others also called the comedian out for being rude to his guest. Watch the entire video. He threw shade at her age, and bam, she hit back nonchalantly. I love that moment. He was being rude to her. However, some fans believed that the two were just having fun, and Kevin Hart was just playing along. They didn't believe that Vergara meant every word that she said. In their opinion, both celebrities were comedians who just put up a great show for their audience. They believe that Kevin Hart leveraged that short exchange to sell his show. One such fan wrote, people, calm down. She's a comedian, witty, intelligent, experienced actor. She absolutely knows what she's doing. They are playing, joking, banter." But some fans weren't buying that. They claimed that Kevin Hart was a slimy person who took advantage of his guests. According to these fans, Kevin isn't naturally funny and therefore has to depend on his guests and audiences to create his jokes. They pointed to when his ex-wife, Torre Hart, used to be the butt of most of his jokes. The fans also cited when Katt Williams referred to him as an industry plant who couldn't sell out shows or get a standing ovation from anyone. Yet he was reining in the cash and had his name in shiny lights splattered all across Hollywood. The same fans also remember when Monique called out Kevin Hart for betraying her when he had already promised to help her. Recounting the incident, Monique claimed that Kevin was the first person to give her a loan when she became financially handicapped, a loan she paid back with interest. Hart also promised to revive her talk show and told her to call him whenever she was ready. The excited Monique put together her team and had them call Hart's manager Dave Becky, only for Becky to claim that he'd heard nothing of that sort from Kevin Hart. Monique said she called Hart and told him about what Dave Becky said, and Hart only replied that it was a miscommunication. According to her, it's been 2 years since Hart made that promise, but he has yet to come through for her. So, given the many accusations surrounding the comedian, fans were excited to see Mark Wahlberg and Sofia Vergara call him out. Maybe the comedian would stop clowning older guests who come on his show, especially about their age, and allow them to tell their stories. Hopefully, Mark Wahlberg's spicy words and Sofia Vergara's hot clapback would serve as a lesson to the 44-year-old Kevin Hart. This brings us to the end of today's video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.